Okay? So who's right? I mean, this is the classic question with any religion, theological question. You know, this rabbi sitting inside the synagogue, this guy comes in, he says, "Listen, this guy did this to me." He says, "Wow, you know, you're right." The other guy who did it to comes in, he explains him the other perspective. He says, "You know, you're right." So a guy watching this comes up and he says, "Wait, this guy came and says, you just said he's right." And then this guy came and said, he's right. He says, "They both can't be right." He says, "You know, you're right." The Jewish people have 613 commandments. I don't know if anybody ever heard that.
Yeah.
Jewish people have 613 commandments. 248, 365 negative, don't do's, and 248 positive. And it works like this. There is a Jewish way to put on your shoes. There's a way to put on your shoes. Anybody know that?
No.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. Kids, you ever heard that? Way to put on your shoes? Okay? I'm not going to say the way to eat a bagel, right? But there is a way to...
He's being very serious though.
Okay, way to put on your shoes. Ready? Ready for the big revelation here? Okay? Please, come in. So what happens like this. The Jewish people, there's a way to put on your shoes. You got to put on your right shoe, then you put on your left shoe, then you tie your left shoe, then you tie your right shoe.
I don't do that.
Can you repeat that?
All right,
Just
let's
repeat it. Just repeat
Just
it.
show off how your memory. What did he say?
Put on your right shoe, then you put on your left shoe, and then you tie your left shoe, and then you put on your right shoe, and then you tie your
Excellent. Beautiful. You got it? You got it?
She has to say it.
She didn't have to say it. Bingo. She showed us. Okay. There is one side of your body you have to go to sleep on. You have to wake up on the other side of your body.
But you have no control over that.
I'm going to get more interesting as we go.
When you open your eyes, you have to keep
You have no control over that.
Well, one of my kids woke up and said, "Is that right? Get up on the right side?" Or the correct side. Right? Which side is the liver?
Which side is the way?
Is your liver. On which side of your body is your liver?
Oh.
Very good. Left side.
In most people.
Most people. Yes. Humanoids. Liver's on the left, you go to sleep on your right. You wake up on your left. Okay. Clothing. Jewish person goes buy a piece of clothing. They have to look at the ingredients. Sounds so funny, doesn't it? Look at the ingredients. I'm talking about food, right? But the ingredients are like this. A Jewish person is not allowed to wear wool and linen in the same garment. It creates a force field that keeps blessings from coming in, men and women.
Wool and what?
Wool and linen. Woolen's like a little plant, and wool is from sheep. Okay.
And why is that?
Oh, God said.
And why did he say?
Why did He say? You gotta ask Him.
Why?
Well, there's
This isn't all
there's a
Jewish
rule.
people, isn't it? Because you see lots of Jewish people walking around with all kinds of clothes on.
Well, it's hard to tell whether it's wool and linen in a piece of garment from walking from the outside, but
Where's
these
polyester fit in?
hold on these are the 613 commandments. Hold on. We'll get.
I thought there was 10.
Great question. Are y'all Jewish? Okay, so for Jewish people, there's 613 commandments. 613. You lucked out. Okay? So what happens is there's a way to put on shoes, take off your shoes, there's a way to wake up, lay down, clothing you gotta wear. It's gonna take all your time. That's just an action. How about in speech? Certain things you have to say at a certain time, every day certain things, and other times of the day you can't say anything. Okay? Like those things. How about thoughts? Jewish person, certain things that you have to think about every day at a certain time of the day, and other times you can't think of those things. Okay? Now that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 120 years. That's it. It's going to take all your living time. Okay? There's no downtime. Every second, even when you're asleep. Okay? God does not command the 6 billion people to live like that. Okay? Here's what He did. After the flood of Noah, He gave 7 laws. if anybody of the 6 billion people keeps those 7 laws, they go to heaven. God says, just do 7 laws, you go to heaven. You don't have to be part of any organized religion. If you want to be part of any organized religion, and that religion follows the 7, then according to Judaism, that is a valid religion. Beautiful. Okay? So it's not our way or the highway. Let's say somebody wants to become Jewish. Get the 613. We say, right now, you can McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, watch cartoons on Saturday. Why in the world would you want to become Jewish and get all overload? Okay? So stay right where you are. We're not only trying not to encourage anybody to become Jewish, we're trying to discourage people from becoming Jewish. But if a person says, well, I got to be Jewish, we can say, no problem. Anybody of the 6 billion can get the 613 commandments, but we're going to make you study for a whole year so that you know exactly what you're getting into, because once you get the 613 commandments, you can't go back to the 7. Everybody got it? Beautiful. So now, it's a unifying factor. 7 laws, 7 Noah high universal laws. Anybody follow them, goes to heaven. You're not guilty by association. Let's say in Nazi Germany, everybody's loading them off. I'm not participating. Okay? I'm keeping the 7 laws. I'm not killing, not stealing that. Right, that person's going to heaven. God can keep track of everybody. Okay? So you're not guilty by association. Okay? So too, if I'm in a great religion, keeps the 7 laws, but I'm not keeping the 7, it's individual. It's not about affiliation. The question's like this. God wants the whole world to keep the 7 laws, or 613 for the Jewish people. I have not seen a megaphone out in space recently pointing this way. It says, keep the 7 laws of Noah. Right? The other problem is, nobody likes to be told what to do. I don't know if anybody knows that, but it's amazing with kids, right? They say the best way of getting a kid to do something, either you ask them to do it, or tell them not to do it. And then, poof, they're out of there. Reverse psychology. Okay? I do not want you to clean up your room. Maybe one day it will be clean then. Okay? So, what happens like this? How do you motivate the world to do the 7 laws? That's God's problem. Okay? So he says like this. Imagine we have a kid, Johnny, we have to clean up his room. Johnny is a nice kid, and his parent, he says to himself, my parents took care of me, I'm going to go clean up my room. Okay? Then his parents saying to him on the way, you know, Johnny, me and your mother had a little schmooze. We'd like you to enjoy cleaning up your room today. So Johnny stops. That's if you can get to the earpods of the iPod. And Johnny says, wait a second, don't tell me I have to enjoy it. I hate my cleaning up my room. Don't tell me I have to enjoy it. Then he thinks to himself, and he says, how can you command an emotion? How can you tell me how to feel? You don't like it or I don't. Get off my back, as the expression goes. Your way or the highway. So Johnny goes off to college, gets no appreciation for cleaning his room, and he says, his roommates say to him, Johnny, ain't gonna work, man, too much stuff over here. You never learned how to clean up your room. Johnny gets married, and his wife says, Johnny, I cannot find the front door. But as soon as I do, I'm out of here. Because it's a maniac mess. What do they call it? Hoarding. I mean, it's just unbelievable what Johnny's turned into. So we do not see how Johnny has been while he's under our parents' control. We see when he's out of control. Out of our control, not of his. He's out of control. Right? So how do you get Johnny to want to clean up his room? Because you can't watch over everybody. You can't watch over your kid. Right? That's the whole thing of education. The teacher walks out of the room, he comes in, it's all hell broke loose. Right? Well, didn't anything rub off on anybody? Right? So if you look at the world and you want to know how well everybody's parenting, just look at how the world's behaving. Because everybody, to whatever extent, came from a mother and father. I'm not sure if we got it together so well. It doesn't look too good out there. There's a lot of problems. Okay? So how do we get Johnny to want to clean up his room? So what do you think? How should we get Johnny to want to clean up his room? Usually, we hold the car keys. And we say, Johnny, clean room, you get the car. Not clean, we take the car away from you. Reward and punishment. Okay? Pain or pleasure. Got it? This guy in a shtetl had a cow. And one day the farmer goes out to the cow barn where the cow is. It's a freezing day in Russia. The cow is shivering inside the barn and it's refusing to go out to the field. It's just so cold. The guy, he's got to make a living, he's got to have food, so I bet he want to beat the cow to death. Here's what he does. He goes to the forest, takes a stick, puts it around the cow's neck, loosely over the nose of the cow. He lowers from this string, attached to the stick, a carrot. And it's right in front of the nose of the cow. The cow takes off out of the barn, plows the entire day, oblivious to the weather out there, just such enthusiasm for the carrot. Well, in life, there are unbelievable amounts of carrots. Food, clothing, shelter. I don't want to get out of bed. Okay, you can stay in bed. You're going to lose your job. You're going to get pretty hungry. You will eventually get hungry enough. I'm going to go find a job. Okay? I need a place to live. Got to pay rent. Got to do this. Got expenses, right? Well, I took care of my necessities. Now it's ready for the cars, the boats, the planes, the yachts, the vacations, the clothing, the relationship. No question. We have a lot of carrots that get us out of bed. The problem with an external motivation is if the stock market goes up, I am very happy. If the stock market goes down, 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 it's getting pretty bad. I'm not happy anymore. An unhappy camper. Okay? Buy the most beautiful car in the world. Beautiful. As soon as it breaks, I'm not happy anymore. Meet the love of my life. I am in ecstasy. And then it breaks up. It's such a downer. I'm not sure if it was worth it. Okay, so the problem with an external motivation is it's like living on an emotional roller coaster. It's way up, way down, way up, way down. You know, in Manhattan, people are in and out of relationships so many times. It's unbelievable. I mean, every month it's a different person, and they just it's very difficult. So my question is like this: what is a constant motivator? Because it's got to be true for the 6 billion people. Otherwise, it's not a true motivator. It's can't say, well, you know, when times are good, I'm going to keep the 7 laws. When times are bad, I'm not going to keep the 7 laws. That's why most people have an escape route. Okay, I'm not going to kill it, but this is a different situation. This is like God, wasn't talking about this situation. There can be no, this situation is different. It's got to be a constant. So it works like this. Ask anybody that gets married if they love each other. Now, millions of people getting married every year, all over the world. Ask them if they love each other. I would bet all of them say they love each other. I don't think anybody's getting married that doesn't say they love each other. Bet on it? I would not bet it. Okay. In America, within a year or two, they not only do not love each other, they're trying to get away from each other fast. Okay? So how can that be? They were sincerely in love, and I wouldn't question anybody's sincerity. Now they are sincerely trying to get away from the other person. So it must be that which they loved about the other person changed. Otherwise, they'd still be in love. Does that make sense? I love the way you did this. I love this. I love it. You're so kind. This, that. And the person says after a year, I didn't realize. You don't know somebody till you live with them. If I had realized, oh my God, I didn't know who the person was, right? Either they changed or my perception of the other person changed. But something changed. Even if my perception is now not normal. But we're not in love anymore because something changed. So the question is like this. What could you love about the other person that doesn't change? If people fell in love with each other for that and married for that, then all marriages would work. Doesn't that sound nice? A little fairy tale-ish, right? If we could fall in love with something that doesn't change by the other person, then all marriages would work. So what doesn't change?